Technical specifications for the aid penalty Part 1. We have discussed elsewhere that there are laws in the legitimate hierarchy which controls the section of space in which you live. In many areas, these laws are either very liberal or non-existent. For example, there are no regulations at all on a person with respect to that person's personal space. That is, an individual has complete freedom to do whatever he or she wants as far as it affects only themselves and no one else. Once the actions of a person extend beyond their personal space and affect others, laws generally come into play. Extremely serious crimes against God and humanity can be punished by the ultimate penalty known as absolute instant death, or AID for short. Examples of such crimes would be killing spiritual personnel such as spiritual masters or spiritual officers or observers. Also, deliberate and intentional violations of the prime directive of the IGC, which is discussed elsewhere. All of us are basically souls. Souls were created by God. Souls cannot be destroyed. Also, souls are considered good by definition. When people do bad things, it is assumed that the mind, with which their soul is associated, is responsible and not the soul itself. It is assumed that the mind has overpowered the soul and has caused it to be a bad soul, and that, at some future point in time, which could be millions or trillions or more years from now, the soul will overcome this bad mind and will be a good person and will return to God and be welcomed by Him. However, notwithstanding this assumption, people who do bad things need to be handled, or they will seriously degrade the quality of life of everyone around them. Besides being a soul, a human being has basically 4 other parts, which were not created by God. He has a physical body, he has an astral body, he has a mind, which is linked to the universal mind on the 4th vector, and he has a causal body or program, which contains karmas, which determine the conditions of that person's present situation. None of these 4 things come from God. They are assigned to a new soul when he first crosses from the spiritual planes into the material creation. Also, these things are not the property of the soul. They are conditional gifts, which can be taken away. Execution of the aid order involves taking back these gifts, which the soul has abused, and escorting the soul to the exit at vector reference 4.999 and basically kicking it out the door. The soul is then in the netherworld zone, NZ, between the spiritual planes and the lower worlds in an area of total blackness with no landmarks at all. God, of course, can choose to rescue such a soul. However, it is not likely that he would do this, since the soul has chosen to challenge and or to attack God, the Father of all of us.